Join me back at the cutting mat with the Airfix Mig-17. And before we move on to the application of the decals, we've just got to quickly spray each of the walkway lines at the wing roots. Airfix ducts apply these as decals and suggest that you paint them, so that's what we'll do. So I've quickly masked up the port side and we shall add some colour. So I'm just using Tamiya X1 gloss and we're just going to blow these in. Until we get, just building the paint up in very, very thin layers, just until we get good coverage. There we go. So I'm probably tempting fate by moving the masking so quickly, but just for camera. Just caught a bit there on the trailing edge. We'll touch that up with a brush. So with a glossy surface, the masking tape has really stuck itself down there. And that's one applied wing root. So I'll crack on and do the other side. Join me back in the next section where we'll look at adding the markings. So throughout the build I've been umming and ahhing in my mind as to what deckle option I'm going to put on the final build. So turning to Extra Decals 72313 from Hannants, we're going to be using the decals for red 83065 of the People's Liberation Army Air Force, or the Chinese Air Force, in 1960. So we're prepared now to put the decals on. So the items off the extra decal sheet have been removed, and therefore for us, for our convenience, we've got a copy of the placement guide. We've got some warm water. Decals are always best applied in warm water as it makes them slightly flexible and less prone to cracking. We've got a brand new paintbrush that's never been used for anything other than deckling, so that there's no paint pigment in the bristles at all, and we're going to use a setting solution, in this time Mark Fit from Tamiya. So we're going to put the first decal on the aircraft, and it's the red serial number, which is 83065, which is decal 13. So with that removed from the sheet and the other parts put for safekeeping, we're just going to submerge this in the warm water for 20 to 30 seconds. There's nothing in the water, it's just straight tap water, and once that decal becomes free of the backing sheet, we'll slide it into place on the model. I like to work in a sort of process around the airframe, so I always start from the one nose on one side and work my way around until the nose on the other side. This just avoids handling decals that have already been added to the model, and avoids them becoming stuck to your thumb. So hopefully this will be now ready, which it is. It doesn't take long in that warm water, especially when you're using a quality aftermarket product. And we're just going to get the area that's going to receive the decal wet. And we'll just slide that into place. So looking at the placement guide, it looks like the 8 is just behind the second latch, and the third latch is directly in between the 0. There we go. So we're just going to use a small piece of kitchen paper to block that into place. Hopefully it won't move. Just get all the excess water out from underneath the deckle, and we're just checking that it's lying flat, which it is, and then we're just going to smooth it out, hopefully without doing that. So we'll just get a bent brush there just to even those creases out. It's actually crinkled up on me there, so we just need to tease it gently. There we go. It's slightly slipped out of alignment there as well, so I'm just going to refloat that. I'm just going to tease it back into place. I'm just checking, it's still dipped, unfortunately. Perfect now. Just try a slightly different approach and rolling the cotton bud along the deckle, just because I've hold it in place. There we go. So the next one off the sheet is decal 12. And this is the national insignia. Again, just placing it in the water. And this goes behind the trailing edge of the wing on the side of the fuselage. We're just going to wet the area we need to apply the deckle. Slide it into place. So looking at this, it's the top of the bar is level with the top of the air brake housing there. We see it better that way. And the tip of the star is just across this panel line, like so. And then the markings are now starting to take shape. We're just checking that it is straight. There we go. So referring to the back page of the deckle placement guide, there's a small diagram showing red 83065 carries the national insignia on the tops and bottoms of both wings, with the point of the star facing forward. The same process will apply. And once they're released from the backing paper, we shall moisten the area that the deckle is going to live in. apply it to the model. So, and we'll just roll that one as well. So we're just checking from a different angle to make sure that it does look in line. And we remove the water. So. And we shall repeat the process on the opposite wing. Just making sure it's parallel with the aileron hinge line. And again, we'll just roll the water from underneath. Okay, so I'm sure you don't want to follow me applying the rest of the decals to the model. So we shall just leave it with those for now. So we're just now going to put some setting solution over the decals, because once we're sure that they're in the correct positioning, and we're not going to want to move them, and then we'll leave it for there. So join me once the decals have been finished, and we'll see what the model looks like before the final assembly. So thanks for following along. Until next time, take care.